Welcome back to CryptosRUs. I'm George. We're all George. So, Bitcoin to I was going to say Bitcoin to 2030. Bitcoin to 1 million by 2030. Is that a possibility? Well, today I'm going to talk about why it is a possibility and why it's actually very likely. So, let's do this. Welcome, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing good. Today, not so good for the U.S. market. Let's start out with what happened today. U.S. market still unsure about what to do. NASDAQ barely down. Dow was down, right? And today we closed February pretty weak because, again, no one knows what the hell is going on. Should we be bullish? Should we be bearish? Should we just stack sats? Right? Well, obviously, it should be the third option. But we closed pretty red. Overall, February was just not good. 10-year Treasury in the U.S. went up because, again, there's a lot of fear. Whenever there's fear, somehow people flock to Treasury notes where you gain a massive 4% interest. Considering how that's still less than inflation, I don't see what that does, but people flock to it, and 10-year treasuries are going sky high. So yeah, today was kind of a neutral day. Coinbase had a good day today. That's good, and I do have some Coinbase news. But also, a lot of people are looking at what's going on with Bitcoin, right? Does Bitcoin need to close February in the green? Well, of course, we would love to see it close in the green. In fact, we don't have many hours left. Right now, Bitcoin is at 23.3. If we close above 23.1, approximately there, give or take a few dollars, we will be in the green for February. We will have 2 consecutive months in the green. Is it 2 or 3? It could be 3. No, it would be the 3rd consecutive month in green. That would be very positive, right? So we don't want to go down. We want to continue going up, although the last 2 months, barely in the green, but green nevertheless. If we can close above 23.1, maybe we get a little bit of George effect during the stream. But if we do close in green, that's great. Momentum is still going up. We know a lot of the altcoins have been going up, right? So that's also good. Can we continue the momentum into March, April, May, and June? There are a lot of people that think that we could end up as high as $50,000 by June. Think about that. That's only 3 months away. That is why you do not want to be sitting out, because if you are, then you'll be left out, right? But as for this notion of hitting $1 million for Bitcoin, just seems like it's fantasy, right? Like I just made that up. There's no way Bitcoin could get to $1 million. I mean, considering it's only 23,000, what are you talking about, George? How can you get to $1 million? Well, let me show you. This is the Bitcoin Adoption S-Curve and Bitcoin's current price. And you could see this goes up by tenfold, right? If you're looking at the y-axis, goes from 10 to 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, $1 million, and $10 million. Now, according to this, and this was tweeted by Plan B, that eventually Bitcoin's top, the adoption S-curve, when it's right at the very top, is going to be around $10 million. But even before then, we can hit $1 million before that. Now, you could see we have deviated a little bit, okay? We have gone down a little bit. So, does that mean our recovery back up to follow the S-curve is going to be crazy, crazier than we ever seen before? That is a real possibility. Now, in case you don't understand what S-curve is basically adoption. Okay, adoption of some new technology, something new. And the S-curve is basically measuring, well, at the very beginning, right, you have early adopters, Okay, then you have early majority adopters. Then you have the late majority adopters. And then finally, the people that caves in, the laggards at the very end, right? And where are we? Well, if you look at the S-curve, we're probably somewhere in the middle. I would say we're right around the early majority to the late majority. We're like right in between there. And this next bull run could definitely push us up if Bitcoin ends up being like 200, 250,000 by the end of this next bull cycle. Then I would think we will be in the late majority. But right now, I think we're still in the early majority. And here's the thing. The rest of the world, okay, they will be the laggards. They will come to Bitcoin eventually. But by then, Bitcoin could be $1 million plus, and people will be fighting over sats, while the rest of you guys already have your Bitcoins locked and loaded, and now you are a millionaire, a multimillionaire, a quadrillionaire. You know, as long as you're in early, you're not fighting for the last few like the laggards will, right? Then you will be just fine, right? But that's what the S-curve is. And in case you're wondering, how does this look in terms of rate of adoption and penetration, right? If you look at this, some of our early technologies took like 100 years before they got big. For example, the automobile. Then you had the telephone. I'm not talking about mobile phone. Landlines. Then you have airplanes, electricity. Look at it, took like 80 years for electricity to get popular. TV came out pretty fast, but still, it took like 40 years. Then you look at things that are faster, like the PC took 20 years. Internet and mobile obviously are very fast, but you know what's faster than all of those things? Bitcoin. Bitcoin and crypto adoption is faster than all of these things before. That is why the price appreciation could come way faster than all of these, because Bitcoin, unlike all of these, has properties of a payment, of a network, of a store value, right? It has properties of 3 things combined, while all these others are just one thing or maybe 2 things. No, really 1 thing. So that's why Bitcoin is different. The growth is much faster. Adoption is much faster. So that is why as Bitcoin gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and as more people adopt, and as the supply keeps diminishing because the 4-year cycle and because holders are simply holding more, well, that $1 million isn't so far-fetched. It's just a matter of when, not if, and could be coming as soon as 2030, which is after this next cycle. If we end up, think about it, if we end up around 200,000, 250,000 by the end of 2025, right? Even if we go down and we prepare for the next cycle, which will be in 2028, and the parabolic run will be in 2029, possibly heading into 2030, right? If we already hit 250,000, then you do another 4x to $1 million the next cycle, that is certainly possible. So it's just a matter of when, not if, and 2030 is not that far off if you think about it. And even we have to wait another cycle to 2034. So what? So what? That is very little time to wait for such a massive amount of gain. There's really nothing else quite like it, right? And here's something else too to prove my case. Internet adoption rate versus Bitcoin's price. You can see internet adoption took a long time, from 1994 all the way until 2018 and beyond to where it is now, right? But obviously it took so many years for internet to grow to saturation, right? And there's still plenty of parts of the world still does not have access to the internet. But it took, what, how many years? Decades? And you look at Bitcoin's trajectory right now, look at how fast it's catching up. Right? And according to this, if you look at where the 1 million mark is, that's right around 2030. That's how I got the 2030 mark, right? It's right around 2030 and could be heading higher towards 10 million, right, afterwards. Awesome. Awesome. So, like I said, a matter of when, not if. But in the meantime, Okay, before we get to that million mark, we still have a lot of good things like this, right? Showing previous cycles versus now, the turning point, the recovery, right? Leading up to the next halving event and leading up to the next bull cycle. A lot of similarities. And of course, the number of holders keeps on increasing. The number of addresses holding at least 0.1 Bitcoin is what? 4+ million addresses? That's a lot. That's a lot. There are a lot of people holding 0.1 Bitcoin. But I know a lot of you guys hold way more than 0.1. A lot of you guys have told me you have become Wholecoiners. That's rare. That's hard. It's very hard for people to pull out $23,000 and buy a whole Bitcoin. Even if you are making 6 figures and well into 6 figures, there are a lot of people that are still living paycheck to paycheck. You tell them to pull out $23,000 for a single Bitcoin, it's impossible for them, right? So for people who have gotten to 1 Bitcoin already, congratulations. Of course, there's many people that have more, but a lot of people are striving to hit that 1 Bitcoin. It's a huge accomplishment. But before then, make 0.1 Bitcoin your goal, and then 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 until you get to 1. And then you go to 2 and 3 and 4. Just that easy. Just that easy. And DCA makes it even easier. All right. So that's Bitcoin's path to $1 million, right? What about the rest of the space? How high can the rest of the space go? Well, there's no top. It's infinite. We're talking about a new generation of technology. Besides Bitcoin, we're talking about Web 3.0, Web 4.0, 5.0, Web 10.0, plus decentralized finance, plus everything else that's still waiting to be developed. I mean, the rest of the crypto industry is just as good, if not better, in terms of overall potential, right? Starting with gaming, I would say. Gaming is absolutely huge. Well, I wouldn't say starting gaming. We have DeFi, that's huge, that's still growing, but we're starting to see a lot of game makers jump into the space because they see the potential of Web 3.0 and they see the potential of tokens, wallets, NFTs, in-game items being converted to assets that actually can be held, traded, and actually are worth something, okay? Rather than in-game items that are not worth anything, that really no one gives any care for, now you can reward people with real assets that could be scarce, valuable, could be traded, could be held, right? And more importantly, has value. So you have a gaming giant, a gaming engine giant that specializes in 3D and VR, Unity. They have come out with this huge thing where they have partnered up with like 13 different projects, including MetaMask, and they want to come out with a huge Web 3.0 store, right? And basically, it's meant to spur innovation. Get all these dApp makers to come on board, utilize these SDKs from different chains, right, and get innovation started. It's absolutely huge. You know, I didn't know how big Unity was, so I looked them up. Their market cap is over $11 billion, so this is not a small company. They are absolutely huge, right? And basically, if you go through, some of the biggest games out there are made with Unity. In fact, they say, I'm guessing this is true, 50% of games are made with Unity. That's how big they are, right? And they are jumping in. They're partnering up with so many, Sandbox, Decentraland, Dogme, but besides that, many others, right, including MetaMask, Aptos, Algorand, Flow. I mean, you have a ton that are all part of this new storefront that is meant to spur innovation. So that's absolutely fantastic. And another project that is part of this is Immutable X. Immutable X, that's why they're doing good today. I believe it's because of this. Immutable X is a layer 2. A lot of talk about layer 2, but they're layer 2 focused on gaming and NFTs. Okay? really, really into Web 3.0. They have 150 developers right now building, and they have some of the top games like Gods Unchained, Guild of Guardians. So I've talked about Immutable X before. They're also using ZK rollups, which means they are basically feeless. You could create NFTs on Immutable X, basically feeless, and they have potential. They have potential. And speaking of games, Immutable X have also partnered up with Illuvium, which is another game that is very hyped up. Illuvium, they still have not come out their main game yet, but Illuvium is coming out with other side games and more NFTs. So they are launching this new NFT adventure game on top of Immutable X, right? But besides that, Illuvium also have their own decks, and there's many other things. Their avatars, they call it Illuviatars, and all these other things, right? That are all based on Immutable X. So it's a good partnership, and it just shows that Immutable X is definitely a big platform. And also, take a look. Ex-Goldman Sachs analyst released a kill-to-earn zombie game also on Immutable X. Immutable X is definitely, I wouldn't say leading, but they're definitely up there. I would say definitely up there in terms of a layer 2 that is really focused on gaming, and in terms of the gaming and development that's happening right now, there's a lot of it. So good for Immutable X, and good overall that Unity is in the space, driving innovation, driving game makers in, combined with everything else I said. The future looks very, very bright. All right. And lastly, Coinbase. Coinbase launches something called Crypto 435. And if you are, you know how I've been talking about how, like, I don't trust Gary Gensler, we should do something about it, right? That's what this is. This Crypto 435 is basically a grassroots project that's trying to get support from the people and trying to educate all 435 congressional districts across the U.S. I don't know what they're actually going to do, but according to this, they will influence laws and policies, bring crypto community together, promote innovation, protect jobs, and will educate everyday Americans about the power of crypto. So I'm thinking, I don't know. I'm thinking they're going to try to do a lot, try to get people that really want to grow the system together and fight together and educate people along the way, and take the fight back to Congress, take the fight back to the SEC and Gary Gensler's of the world, right? I think that's what this is, and it sounds quite exciting. So if you want to be part of it, definitely sign up. You know, you could go to Coinbase's Twitter and click into it. But it sounds very exciting. I'm glad Coinbase is doing this, right? Taking a stand, getting people to stand together, to fight together. I think that's a pretty good thing. It's a very good thing. And also, they launched their Euro-backed stablecoin, EuroC. I don't know how many people are excited about this, but remember recently I said Coinbase is attacking Binance, delisting BUSD. This could be the reason, because they want to promote their Euro-backed stablecoin. But overall, I think this Crypto 435 is a really good thing. All right, that is what I want to say. Look at that. The Georgia effect is happening. That's pretty good. Oh, I had my camera off the whole time, but it's okay. It's okay. I'm back. I had to sip a few. All right, let's do some Q&A. Let's get that fixed. This always resets on me for some reason. All right. Is my live stream being hidden today? I see number of live viewers down today for some reason. I saw some people say that you couldn't find maybe no notifications or something like that, but it's okay. Let's see. What kind of camera do I have? I have a nice Canon DSLR plus a Logitech. When I switch cameras, you could see the quality changes, right? But it's okay. I like the multi-camera setup. In my new studio, it's going to be amazing. Jimmy Doss, keep stacking sats. It's crazy how fast DCA helps you stack. I am almost to 1 and want to get there before the price of entrance goes higher. Congratulations, Jimmy. I did a whole speech about getting to 1. It's not easy. It's not. But DCA definitely makes it much easier. Takes the guessing out. Do I have a Shiba Inu dog for a pet? No. No, but there is one in my block that's pretty cute. Blur, good project. I don't know. It's relevant to me. I'm not excited about NFT marketplaces. Thoughts on Trust Wallet? I really do like Trust Wallet. I think they're a good wallet. Nothing wrong with Trust Wallet. Thoughts on Shibarium? I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. I wish they would stop hyping it up and just release it. I don't know when it's going to be released. I'm hoping soon because they've been talking about it a lot, right? I think it's going to be very good for sheep. Half the chat is about Shiba Inu dogs. Jimmy, you're welcome, and I'm glad to have helped. That's what I'm here to do. Help everyone stay calm, focused, and prepare for the future. Let's leave this. This is a good one right here. Leonidas. It's my birthday and spending time here. I'm glad you're here with me. I'll keep you entertained. Or educated, at least. How many of you guys are going to Bitcoin 2023? I'm going to do a poll. I'm curious how many of you guys are going to Bitcoin 2023.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.
I think I'm going to go. I'm curious how many of you guys are going. What are your thoughts on Change Finance, created by founder of VeChain? Oops. I didn't mean to play that. I didn't mean to play that. What was it? I think I know who you're talking about, and no, I'm not a fan of that guy. And he's not the founder of VeChain. He claims he is, but he's not. I used to think because he started another project that I was a big fan of, and then it turned out to be one big cluster F because he started siphoning money, started dumping, and then created some other project, which I think has changed. So, and I totally forgot what that project is. Is it this one? Relatively small yeah, Fusion. He started Fusion and screwed that project up huge. So he was claiming he started VeChain and Neo, and he started everything because of his incubation project or something like that. That's total nonsense. So no. $25% people saying they're going. 75 said no. I did not mean to play that video. That accidentally slipped out, by the way. I wish I got revenue off that commercial. If I did, I'd be playing it every single day, twice a day. What happened here? Huge dive. Find Dora. Decentralized privacy-preserving smart contract platform building the next privacy dApp with world-leading zero-proof technology. So it's a ZK project. To apply for a grant. Okay. Staking dApps. Let's see. They have a few dApps. KuCoin lists them. Tencent Cloud. So they're hosted by Tencent. Looks okay. I would say it looks okay. Obviously, I don't know that much about them looking at them for 10 seconds, but very, very low market cap, so that's probably a problem. They're on KuCoin and Gate.io, but not several of the other exchanges, so that's going to be a problem. Volume is super low. And privacy overall has problems because a lot of jurisdictions do not like it. They force exchanges to delist privacy coins. So that could be a problem as well. I couldn't see your stream until specifically I went to your channel, and then obviously I saw. I don't know why. YouTube is funny like that. Sometimes it just doesn't notify people, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, the number of live streamers today is down. It's okay. How does the money invested in crypto space grow in value? I don't know if you're just asking because you truly don't know, or you're looking for a deeper answer. When you invest in crypto space, you're investing in projects, a lot of promising projects that other people may want to invest in. And as more and more people invest, then the price goes up. That's just how it works. Hey, look at that. That's pretty good. We could end February green. That's what we want. James, what do you think about A0 ZKMP? See, I've looked at it before. I don't know enough about it to let you know. So And are you the person that keeps asking about A0 every single stream? Because there's only like one person I ever asked, and I think that's you. Volume and King, no volume means rip. I mean, it's true. A lot of these projects do have very, very little volume. Any news from Cardano lately? I feel like they've been quiet, which tells me Charles might drop a hype bomb soon. I don't know about that. I mean, they haven't dropped a lot of news for a long time. I mean, they're just working. They're just trying to upgrade, and you know, they had their last upgrade and they still have another one coming. I mean, there's a lot. They're basically focused on development. And I don't tune in to Charles's live stream, and he still does a lot of those. So, I mean, if you're looking for something explosive, no. After DJed, you know, after stablecoin came out, they had another upgrade, but their next big one is to focus on governance, right? It's just a matter of time before they're fully done. You know, do I have the camera wrong? I was like, oh, there we go. I was like, what's wrong with my camera angle? Dan, where do you think BNB is going to go next year? Can it reach 1K? Yeah, 1K is only like 3x from here. So, can it reach 1K? Yes. They were as high as 600, 700. So, I think that's very easy for them in the next bull run. Am I going to stream in 2030? If Bitcoin is at $1 million each, I can't promise that I'll be streaming anymore. Maybe I would do it every so often just to have fun, but no, I would not be streaming twice a day, every single day in 2030 if Bitcoin is at $1 million each. I Like Water says, what coin are you invested in that you think has the most risk to high reward ratio? I do have one, but I can't share it with you guys. I did get into something recently, but it is too risky to mention, and it's not the right time. So, but there's something like that. But regardless, most of the projects I cover, like within the top 100, don't feel like they can't get you the gains that you're looking for. These projects are still 10, 15, 20x, even from these levels. So don't feel discouraged that you've missed out on anything. Even though we start recovering up a little bit, we're nowhere close. Nowhere close to previous highs, just to get back to previous highs. And then think about what happens afterwards. If Bitcoin truly hits, like, say, 200, 250,000 in this next bull run, it's hard to imagine where the rest of the market will be. Could be absolutely insane versus right now. Alexander, appreciate it. Big super sticker. I converted my soul into BTC ETH and Matic. Maybe I made a bad choice. Only time will tell. I love these three projects. Why do you think it's a bad? Why do you think it's a bad choice? Rich, don't doubt yourself. And I don't even know why you think it's a bad choice. You can never go wrong with BTC ETH or Matic. You know that. I'm selling everything in 2025. Good for you. Assuming the Fed pauses rate hikes in June, does the old saying sell in May becomes irrelevant? You got to realize these trends, that often happen are based on, I don't know, a calm environment, okay? Not like the one we're in right now, okay? We're in the weirdest, and I would argue the richest recession ever in U.S. history, okay? We have never, ever, ever been in a recession where unemployment is at a 55-year low and consumer spending is still high and housing is still high, jobs still plentiful. Never, ever, ever, ever has this happened in U.S. history. And the only reason why this happened is because the government printed trillions upon trillions upon trillions and trillions and more trillions and trillions on top of that and distributed it out, right? So things are very different right now. Very, very different. And my point to this is we're not in a calm environment. Okay, we're not like a usual, we're not going through a usual cycle. We're going through a very different cycle. Okay, so this old trends like sell in May, go away or whatever, right? None of that is a certainty, right? It could come or it could not come, and it doesn't really matter if it does. That's the thing. So I don't know. That's kind of how I see it, right? But with that said, the trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions upon trillions that has been printed and distributed, what's the side effect? Short term, yeah, things are looking good. Long term, absolutely horrendous when it comes to inflation and devaluing the US dollar and robbing people of their buying power, right? That's why more and more people are turning to Bitcoin, because they want to opt out of that. They don't want to be part of a vicious downward spiral that is caused by the Fed, and there's really no escaping it. The way the Fed is operating and all central banks are operating, it's unsustainable, and one day they will all crash. Just hopefully not within our lifetimes, but one day they will. And that's why Bitcoin was created. What do you think is going on, Matic? Do you think it's just cooling off, or am I missing some news? You're not missing anything. Just because something doesn't go up infinitely every day does not mean that you miss some news, or does not mean that they have become a bad project. Keep in mind, I stream twice a day, every day, okay? Projects don't have news every day or even every week. Sometimes it takes months for some new development to happen, right? So keep that in mind. Alrighty, let's call it a night. Hey, Bitcoin is still pumping up. The George effect is happening right now before the end of the month. That is fantastic. That's what we want to see, right? Overall, things are still looking good. We are off the S-curve, but we will catch up. And when we do, right, great things will happen. And it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when Bitcoin hits $1 million. And that could be as soon as 2030. Just think about that. All right. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys tomorrow, 8:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. All right. Have a good night, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.